Hello, this is Taha.
This is Anaina.
This is Movie Masala.
And we're here to yap at you about films we've watched recently.
And today we're doing...
Today, we're actually not talking about a film we've watched recently. I'm going to be talking about a TV show I watched recently. Our first TV show.
Baba loved his palace for sure, but हमारे future की परवाह नहीं थी उन्हें.
जैसे तुम्हें हमारी फ्यूचर की बहुत परवाह है और जो तुम्हारी वजह से हम यहाँ 6 महीने से पास में अटके हुए हैं उसका क्या? बाबा का विल तक नहीं पढ़ पाए तुम्हारे इंतजार में.
Correct. That's the right approach.
Past को लेके sentimental रहो, future को लेके clueless.
You're the one who's clueless.
पहले हम प्रेजेंट के बारे में बात कर लें.
बिल्कुल. एंड प्रेजेंटली ये डक्करी लाजवाब है. It's delicious.
So, I'm going to be talking about The Royals, which if you follow Bollywood, it's been on everyone's lips recently. It was released on Netflix and is directed by Neha Sharma and stars mainly Bhumi Pednekar and Ishaan Khatter with, a few big names here and there.
Big names including?
Big names including Sakshi Tanwar, Nora Fatehi, Zeenat Aman, the queen, the icon herself, Milind Soman, and So anyway, so really old big names and new big names as well. And just to begin, it's basically a show of, it's a typical romance. It has the random meet cute. It has the enemies to lovers. It has business deal, businesswoman, and spoiled bratty prince, and childhood trauma, and this and that and that. So it's pretty standard in that way.
Okay.
But it promised something different. And so I watched it because it was promising something different. Also, my best friend, shout out to her, recommended the shit out of it to me by saying there's gay people in this.
Literally, like so easy to convince us. It's just like gay people. I'm like, where?
Exactly. And she posed it as a challenge. She was like, if you do not find out who the gay people are within the first 3 episodes, then she was going to revoke my gay pass.
Did you maintain your gay card?
I guessed it in like halfway through the first episode, which brings me to how
so proud of you.
Which brings me to how badly this show is written.
Go off.
So like, even if my friend hadn't told me there were gay people in this show, I 100% would have known what the secret and drama was. I'm not going to give any spoilers because obviously I want people to, if they're going to watch it, I want people to discover it by themselves. But like I said, it's pretty fucking obvious if you have half a brain.
Some people don't.
People don't, but when there is a random Maurice in the midst, no one knows who the fuck, in a family of Indian royals, you throw in a random Maurice, then who the fuck Maurice is. Also, you say Maurice and my brain immediately goes to a white French gay guy.
Yeah, as it should.
Right? Anyway, so it's very badly written, to bring me back to my point, and it goes on for 8 episodes, and each episode is around 40-45 minutes long. I'll be honest, I sped through them pretty quickly because of how trashily they're written, how non-engaging they are. Usually when you watch something new, you don't tend to do other things like chores when you're doing that thing. But I feel like you could. I feel like this was a very switch off your brain and watch kind of show, but it was promised as something not like that. It was promised to be subversive to Indian shows. And I guess it is in a way because of the, and it's rated with parental guidance and mature, but because of some explicit sex scene. But honestly, I've seen better in Indian cinema.
So fair.
Right. So I don't think just because you throw in the occasional sex scene or expressions of lust or desire, it's subversive in any kind of way. I get that it's something not familiar to a lot of Bollywood shows and still is considered considered taboo in a lot of parts of India. But I think we need to stop with that narrative and just be like, yes, people have sex, deal with it.
Gasp.
Right? And I mean, I'm a sucker, as I've said on this podcast many, many times. I'm a sucker for a good rom-com.
Yes.
I love a good rom-com. It has to be good. Throw in as many tropes as you want. Rookie had every single trope imaginable and I still loved it. Right? It's just you have to do it well.
I agree.
This does not do any of them well. It has women showing explicit desire to be loved and to love for lust. Older women as well, which is something rare. I will give this film that.
Yeah, I'll appreciate that.
Exactly. I will give this show this, that it shows older women as like supporting each other, having each other's backs and like, you know, encouraging their desires and stuff, which is something quite rare, honestly, to a lot of South Asian cinema, which is great. So I get it. But it's just, it could have been done so much better. It's like if you're promising something subversive, make it actually subversive. Like I'm pretty sure I could have written this 3 other ways. And like I could have. I don't often like to brag about the fact that I can do something better than like professionals. But I'm pretty sure I could have written this better. And it just goes to show the state of Bollywood. I mean, we've talked about a lot of Bollywood films on this podcast. Not a lot, but like quite a few. And the general tone has been of disappointment. And I agree. Like most of the time, so if a Bollywood film or like television show is badly written, at least the acting makes up for this.
Yes.
I cannot say the same. Like Bhumi Pednekar, honestly, when she did her first few films, she was my favorite actress. She was insanely good and so talented. And she is so talented. I don't get what happened here. I think something was amiss. I don't know if it was bad direction. I don't know if the source material wasn't like inspiring her. I don't get it. I was not feeling it. And Ishaan Khatter, I mean, he's pretty and he can act. That's about it. Like, I like looking at his face as an absolute lesbian. I like looking at his face, mostly because of his hair.
That's amazing.
It's just, there's got to be something beyond a pretty face and a reasonable ability to act.
As one of my favorite quotes, acting's not that hard. Mark Wahlberg can do it.
Right? Like, it's... Yeah, anyway. I think one of the stars of this show for me has to be Sakshi Tanwar, who is a veteran Indian television actress, has been in like the longest running soap on Indian television. It's not the longest running soap of all time, but it feels like the longest running soap of all time. And honestly, I can see why. She is absolutely fantastic. She knows how to act for television. And sure, it's like short form television, but she knows how to make a TV camera work.
That's a skill,
because it's
yes.
Netflix, it's not the same. I feel like she does brilliantly in this as well. I also think that Zeenat Aman, obviously, the queen herself, she's great. She steals every scene she's in just because of her natural like aura, I guess.
Love that.
And then I've been seeing Vihan Samat, who is also a character in the show. Vihan Samat, I've watched him in a different show before. He was really great in that one, and he's really, really good in this one as well. Honestly, I think he does better than Ishaan Khatter a lot of the times. As not
Fair
even
enough.
just the scenes where they're together, but in general. It feels like acting comes, and I don't want to get cancelled for this, but I just feel like acting comes more naturally to him. But yeah, so like, I think some of the actors save this TV show. The main characters who should be though don't. It's not good. And I've seen people like come for Bhumi Pednekar's looks and whatever, and I don't accept that. That's wrong. We don't come for how someone looks. We come for the job they do. And unfortunately, she did not do her job well in this TV show.
You know what it also makes me think? Like, I feel Netflix specifically had done a really good job for South Asian TV shows specifically, because they were so heavily dominated by specific TV channels which would only make very specific types of programming, like your soaps, your comedies, all of that. And there are a lot of it, like I remember 12th Fail or like they're
Something that Vihan Samat himself is in, Mismatched. I fucking love Mismatched. Like, I watched it when I was really young, and it's meant for like younger audiences. But it's well made. Then they did an Indian version of the Spanish show Elite. That was really good as well. Like, they were done well. Like, Netflix was, I understand you, but like Netflix was doing good for putting Indian shows on a larger
specifically more different Indian shows which are just not in the mainstream, and I feel it has done a lot to get younger audiences back into Bollywood television. That's not a word, but you know, that specific, because all of us really were like, I don't mind Bollywood films in a lot of ways, but also like I see Western media just doing so much more, like doing new and exciting things, and I want that from here. I think Netflix was doing a good job, but now I feel that this entire ethos is changing.
Because, but again, Netflix did what it does so well, and it fell into like a pattern. It fell into a mold, and it's just like, well, now what? Like, you were doing so well, and it's not like Netflix is like the sole producers or whatever. These are coming from Indian
obviously.
like production houses and companies, of course. But like, yeah, I completely agree. It's like Netflix does something good and then sees a pattern and then starts doing it badly. It's just like, come on, man, you were so close. And I hate to see that treatment coming for Indian shows as well. As someone who genuinely enjoyed the Indian shows that Netflix used to put out like 2-3 years ago. But yeah, for me, The Royals, a miss. Also, just side note, the title track is so bad. It's so bad. The title track and the end credits. There is one line in it, and I'm not going to say it on here because it makes me physically cringe. But if a line in a title track song, like credit sequence, is making you cringe, take it out, do another one.
Have you considered the fact that they did not make them cringe because they just don't know what is good sometimes?
It had to have made someone cringe. If it didn't make them, at least one person in that room cringe, something is deeply wrong. The people in the rooms making these shows. But yeah, it's a fun watch if you want to switch off your brain. But honestly, I would have loved to see something more. I would have loved to see something more.
So those are our thoughts. Thank you for tuning in. This podcast is produced solely by us with musical assets from Pixabay. See you again next time.
Bye-bye.